This is lesson 7 where we're going to talk about the residual values. So first, what are the residual values? Well, the residual values, if we look on the line of best fit for each of our x values to be on the line, you'd be right on the line of best fit. So here, would be the predicted values on this line. Here, these are the actual values. Well, the residual is the difference between the actual value and the predicted value. So in this first activity, what you would do is kind of estimate how big is a residual. If it's below the line, it's going to be negative, and then just estimate, well, this seems to be a negative 2.29. Well, this seems to be about, I don't know, 0.05 maybe. And then you just put a line straight up from the line to there and then estimate how large that is and then connect them, write them down, and then you're going to find the sum of them. Now, what you will find though is the sum should be approximately 0. Again, the residuals and the line of best fit is created so that the sum of the errors is about 0. So when you add up all the residuals, the value should be 0. Now, what you're going to need to do for this, I downloaded the R code, but you're going to need to download the data file. So here, I just click File, and then I'm going to download this as an Excel file, and then upload that into R, because R can deal with the residuals quite well. So I just click Import Data Set from Excel, browse, go to L7 data of 1, remember, that is going to create a little bit of an issue where I have to rename the L7 data code to be L7 data and not L7 data /1. So I'm going to run this read Excel part, but I'm going to go in here and call this L7 data, and then just reassign that L7 data 1 underscore 1 that you saw there. So what you would do if you look at that, we have strength, which is going to be our x variable, and then porosity of uh, aluminum. And we can run a linear model and look at this. So in looking here for a second task, we have the strength and the porosity. Here is the equation for the line of best fit. And then we would use this to find the expected values, or this would be our fitted values. And then the residual values would be, here's the actual values minus the expected values. And then those would be the residual values. So just a few things. What you can do to find the, after you run the model, if you want the fitted values or the predicted values, you just go model/fitted, and those would be your fitted values. And then you can go to find the residual values, model/residual, and those are your predicted residual values. And then if I wanted to remember when we talked about, well, what's the sum of the residuals? So if you sum them, you notice that's a really, really small number. It's pretty much 0. Now, remember, if you wanted to plot this, we could do a plot of x and y. And then I could also plot the ab line of x and y. So remember, to do that, we can go ab line of the linear model of y approximately related to x. And it'll just draw in our line of best fit. Now, remember, if we wanted to see, well, what is the equation for the line of best fit? You can do the summary of the model, get those coefficients. So in looking at this, our line of best fit is about 0.75. Remember, this is not at 0, so that's why it looks like it's 0.7. This doesn't go over to 0 right here and there. And then our equation for the slope is about negative 0.34. So then here, um, to plot those values, and oops, those are a little bit inaccurate. So let me just move those 0.75 minus and negative 0.34. And then the residual would be the actual minus the expected. And then from there, that is how you view the residuals. Now, what you're going to do is then plot those residual values. So here you put on the x-axis that, and then on the y-axis, those residuals. And you can actually look at the model for that. So if I did, here's the model, we ran those, there's the linear model. You can do the plot part here. And here is your, I hit enter right here. This will be the residual versus fitted values. So it'll show you your residual values and it flags high and low values. So the 6th, the 10th, and the 11th are a little bit higher than the rest of those. And then here you're going to do the practice problems. So here's some of the R code to do that, and then your check for understanding as well. There's the R code to run that. I would have students run through that and then make sure that they struggle with that a little bit.